Here. So please take a comfortable seat, an upright seat. For those of you who are teachers who've graduated from our training program, I did pop quiz the students last night and there wasn't 100% success. So when I say this part about the Dharma that I'm going to share with you, try to see if you have a memory spark that goes off that's like, oh yes, I do know that. And let it sink in so you can share it with your students when you're teaching today or this coming weekend. So, okay, please rest your hands in your lap. Let your eyes close. And bring your attention from the outside world to the inner world. And include in that inner world a felt sense that there are others practicing with you in real time. So both yoga and Buddhism like to use numbers. They're very fond of numbers. The number 3 is important. For example, there are 3 aspects to Kriya Yoga. We have enough discipline, enough inquiry, and enough surrender for the practice of yoga to work its medicine in us. We also have 3 aspects that we take refuge in: the teachings, called the Dharma, the teacher, known as the Buddha, and the community, known as the Sangha. And then we have the 3 doshas, and so on and so forth. So the 3 is a very important number. And for this afternoon, when you take your seat, try to sense, even though you're going inside, this inner experience of Sangha, of community. Every one of us is welcome here. And so too are all the aspects of the mind, both the inauspicious and the auspicious. So we are here to help to better understand what's inauspicious in our minds and to raise up that which would be auspicious. Allow your breathing to become smoother, a little bit longer if possible. And now to help sort of clear the windshield of the mind, let's clasp the hands, and with an inhale, take both hands forward and up. And then exhale and press your arms out to the sides of the room, like clearing the windshield of the mind. Let's do that again. And we're going to change the quality of the exhale. So clasp your hands, inhale forward and up. And then making a sound. Again, inhale forward and up. Making a sound. And now twice more with the silent exhale through the straw, means the very tiny cocktail straw. Once more. Okay, now join your hands together at your heart. And listen in your body when you hear, these are the 5 core attitudes of yoga. In this order, we begin with the attitude of Shraddha, which is, in English, it means faith. Faith that you're going in the right direction. Faith that yoga can move your life in a beneficial direction. And faith that you've seen this be possible in the lives of others, including your Sangha members, your community members, and your teachers. The second core attitude is Virya. It means once you know the direction you're traveling, to put vigorous effort in that direction. And that doesn't mean only physically vigorous effort. It means sometimes the mental vigorous effort. The third core attitude is called Smriti, which means to remember you're on the practice and path of yoga. And then Samadhi, to seek the experiences of awakening. And Prajna, to become even more discerning towards wisdom in the mind and in consciousness itself. So we begin with Shraddha, with faith that we're going in the right direction. And then we have Virya, strength to go in that direction. And the third line in our chant, we say, Saha Viryam, Virya. May we be vigorous when needed. Okay, let's begin. Sahana Vavatu, Sahano Bhunaktu, Saviryam Karavavai, Tejasvinavaditamastu, Ma Vibhishavai, Sana Vavatu, Sahano Bhunaktu, Saviryam Karavavai, Tejasvinavaditamastu, Ma Vibhishavai. Now we put the first 2 lines together and the last 2 lines together. Sahana Vavatu, Sahano Bhunaktu, Saviryam Karavavai, Tejasvinavaditamastu, Ma Vibhishavai. Om Shanti Om Shanti Shanti Om. And with your exhale, you may bow your head to your heart. And perhaps today we have an inkling of faith that we're going in a good direction. May we add to that inkling as we practice together. You may release your hands when you're ready to. And please open your eyes. And we're going to come up to standing. I'm going to take myself back to my mat with my water glass. And let me get this other camera turned on, Susie, so you'll have it. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, come up to stand. Let's take a stance that is as wide as your yoga mat. Let's see, Susie, do I have to angle that down further? It's not going to show my feet the way I have it set. Let's see if I can do it, you guys. Just a moment, please. Is that better, Susie? Seems like maybe I have to go even further. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, I see. Now you're there. All right, great. Okay, terrific. Thank you. Okay, so in this stance as wide as your yoga mat, we're going to be using a couple poses from a few days ago where we come down. It'll be like a ragdoll position. We're going to add a twist to that. If you're someone who benefits from the blocks being nearby, please bring them in. And then let's repeat this. Interlace your fingers and inhale to go forward and up. This time when you exhale, make a sound, bend your knees and come down. Clasp your hands, inhale forward and up, rise all the way up. Again, inhale. Now let's go up, and we'll be using the silent exhale through the tiny cocktail straw. It may require you to slow down your movements to be in pace with the exhale, so you synchronize to complete the movement and the breath at the same time. And then inhale again, interlace your fingers, rise up. And tiny straw exhale, silent, slow exhale. Tone the low belly consistently, particularly as you get towards the end of the exhale, be more deliberate there. And then last one, clasp your hands, inhale to rise. Now with the knees bent, rock your body weight a little bit further back into your heels. The toes are a support, but drop back into your heels, keep the hips moving back behind you, and just walk your fingertips forward like itsy bitsy spider. If you prefer, of course, your hands can be on blocks here. As you're walking forward, keep the hips reaching back and try to sense the stretch you're inviting across the myofascial region of the back hemisphere of the body. Now, as you inhale, slowly straighten both legs. It's going to change the dynamic of the position. That's just for your inhale. Walk the fingers forward. And then exhale, bend your knees and take your hips back, reaching them back until your body weight is in your heels. Inhale to straighten slowly. Press from your hips down into your heels. And exhale to deeply bend your legs so your body weight goes back into your heels. Stretch the myofascial region on the back of your body. Do it one more time. Inhale, straighten both legs. And exhale, bend both knees. Sit back as if there were a park bench behind you and you're about to sit down on it. Keep the fingers outstretched and notice what's vigorous about this moment that isn't just the physical vigorous, there might be some of that, but also how the mind stays present. And then walk your hands back to your hips and rise up to standing. Welcome. Okay, step the feet in and reach for your 2 blocks for Surya Namaskar. When you place the 2 blocks down, place them on either side of your feet and step to the front of your yoga mat. And then please join your hands at your heart. And notice when you come inside now where the experience of faith, Shraddha, you're going in a good direction. Where does that live in your body? Some part of that brings you to class today. But where does that live in your body? Now place the tip of your tongue behind the top 2 teeth. Make the back of the throat more hollow. And listen for the most subtle form of your Ujjayi breath. And then we shall begin. Inhale, Ujjayi inhale. And then exhale, bend your knees and sit down. Complete the exhale and the movement at the same moment. Then inhale, rise up without any sense of rushing. Tone your hips, hamstrings, quads, calves, heels. Exhale, bow forward using the most subtle form of your Ujjayi breath. Strengthen the exhale at the bottom here. Inhale, glide forward. Exhale, left toes back. Inhale to rise, sweep your arms wide. Lift your gaze up to your thumbs. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, reach up and follow your thumbs. Exhale, arms wide, come forward and down. Inhale, step forward, heart forward. Listen to the subtlety of the Ujjayi sound. Exhale, right toes back. Inhale to rise. And try to sense in your body how you have this faith that yoga is transforming your life. Exhale, your hands to your heart. And then inhale, raise your hands high like an arrow. And exhale, arms wide and down. Place the blocks aside. Inhale to downward facing dog pose. And then exhale forward to plank pose. In plank pose, gaze down between your thumbs. Isometrically squeeze your feet towards each other. And in the central line of the body, lift the base of your skull. So even the crown of your skull is in this line. From the inner heels to the inner thighs, up the central channel of the body, the spine is part of that, and to the crown of your skull. And then exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Point your toes. Inhale, roll up, Bhujangasana, Cobra pose. And exhale, roll down, Pranam. So your head comes down last and you bow the head to the floor. Inhale to roll up, the most subtle form of your Ujjayi breath. And exhale to roll down. Twice more. This is like a bellows action for the body. When you inhale, it's like opening the bellows. And when you exhale, like closing the bellows. Curl your toes under and inhale, press up to plank pose. Squeeze your hands towards each other. Do the same with the feet and try to sense the center line of the body. Then inhale, raise your hips high, downward facing dog pose. And now with an exhale, step your awkward foot forward first. Then step the other foot forward. Inhale your heart forward, Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, reposition your blocks and bow towards your legs. Press firmly into the blocks towards the end of your exhalation. Inhale to rise up, coming up to Urdhva Hastasana. And then exhale, come into your heart. And try to sense where in your body you have this felt sense of Shraddha. That somehow yoga is transforming your life in a good direction. Now inhale again, Urdhva Hastasana. And as you lift up, let your gaze meet your thumbs as the inhale completes. And then exhale, chair pose, bring your gaze forward and down. Inhale, rise up and lift your eyes until they meet your thumbs as the inhale completes. And then exhale, sweep your arms wide. You gaze forward and then gaze back past your heels towards the back edge of your yoga mat. Inhale, glide your heart forward. Okay, left foot back. This is the base of your crescent lunge. And let's inhale, rise up to your crescent lunge pose. Lift your gaze to meet your thumbs as your thumbs meet. Exhale your hands to your heart. Bring your gaze to your fingertips. So it's really close to home. Inhale to go up. Follow your thumbs. And exhale, sweep the arms wide. Come over to airplane pose. Touch both blocks now. And as you inhale, straighten your right leg, lengthen your spine forward. And then exhale, deeply bend your right knee. Again, inhale, straighten your right leg, lengthen your spine forward. Notice what's vigorous about the actions of your right leg. When you exhale, you bend your right knee to balance over your right heel again. Keep the left leg strong behind you. Now, one more time, inhale, straighten your right leg, lengthen your spine. And keeping the legs stable, exhale and deeply bow over your right thigh, like closing a bellows. And then with your next subtle Ujjayi inhale, lengthen your spine forward, come up to your fingertips. And now place both blocks on the inside of your right foot and walk your hands gently to the left. So you're just about halfway over here off of your yoga mat. So the right foot is straight on, like it would be in Parsvottanasana. Turn your left heel to the floor behind you so that front to back, your heels are lined up. And then press firmly into the block under your right hand and inhale, open to your left. And exhale to roll down, like closing a bellows. Okay, inhale to open to your left. Keep the legs stable. Lengthen your right inner thigh. And exhale to unwind, like closing a bellows. One more time, inhale to open. And exhale, roll down. And take a look at where your two blocks are. Move your right hand over to the block you had for your left hand. So this is a very different kind of twist now. You're going to keep the right leg stable and solid and press into your right arm. Aim to stack your right shoulder over your right wrist. And then raise your left arm. This is like a variation on trikonasana, triangle pose. And notice how your mind responds when you have a sense you're going in the right direction, but now there's a variation, there's a nuance. Something is being changed. And when you next exhale, release your left hand down to its own block. Walk your right hand to its block, and let's bookmark the front foot once again. Bend your right knee and float your left foot forward to meet your right foot. Inhale, lengthen your spine forward. Okay, with an exhale, enjoy a deep bow while the pose is symmetrical. And then inhale, glide your heart forward. Let's step the right toes back. Inhale, rise so that your eyes will meet your thumbs as your thumbs meet overhead. Exhale, bring your hands down. Gaze at your fingertips. Inhale to raise up. And now exhale, open, forward, down. Make the right leg strong behind you, and please inhale, straighten your left leg and lengthen your spine. Exhale, bend your left knee like closing a bellows. Your thigh and your torso will likely touch each other. Inhale, straighten your left leg, slow and smooth. And then exhale and bend your left knee. And do that one more time. Inhale to straighten. And then we're going to exhale and bow over the left leg. So this is like a bellows. You're closing downward and inward. Also like this pose for the sense of humility. Right? We have faith, we're going in a good direction. It will require some vigor from us. We also have this inner humility that we get to be on the path of yoga. Somehow the good grace in our life allowed us to arrive here. Now as you next inhale, glide your heart forward, come up to your fingertips. And then keeping your left foot straight on as it is, walk your blocks to the inside of your foot. Go about halfway, so your left hand comes inside on the yoga mat, the right hand is off the yoga mat. And then turn your right heel down to the floor so you're stable. And here we go, let's inhale, open to your right, lengthen the left inner thigh. And exhale, roll it down. Like closing a bellows, exhale completely. Inhale to open. And exhale to lower. Okay, once more. Inhale to open, like opening a sail on a ship, unfurling that. And we exhale to come down without urgency. Enjoy every part of the breath and the movement. And then walk your left hand over to the block. And as you press into your left wrist, keep the left leg straight. You can kind of gaze back at your left knee. It should line up with your left toes. And then line up your left shoulder over your left wrist and twist to your right. And then raise your right arm high. And notice what's required. Where do you need that extra sense of vigorousness for your mental focus or for the pose itself? This is a variation. How is your mind responding to having a variation? And then when you exhale, lower your right hand back down to meet your left. Put the left hand back on its own block. Bookend your left foot with each block. And let's step backwards to downward dog pose with the hands high on the two blocks. And then inhale, glide forward to plank pose, please. Exhale, lightly touch your knees down. Take one block back under your hips and sit for a moment in Vajrasana. So you're kneeling Zazen style. Rest your hands in your lap. And try to sense you've had these excursions. You can think of it like you had the excursion on one side, you had it on the other side, and then here you come back to your center. And how are you going to arrive from those excursions? What have you learned? Now we're going to add some twisting into the upper back. And the first pose we'll do is in this wide-footed Uttanasana where your feet are as wide as the mat. I would recommend for some of you that we do use blocks. So when you come down with the knees bent, we're going to take the left forearm, might be on the block like this. You could do a couple of blocks like this. And the left hand can hold the right shin. Or if you're on a lower block, the left hand can hold the mid shin. If you're using an even lower block, the left hand would hold the ankle. How deeply down you go, no one is competing with you. So choose based on your capacity. Place your right hand on your right knee and begin twisting to your right in your upper back. And focus the twist into your thoracic spine. And then let your pose be stable enough that your head has permission to explore different options and ideas. Press firmly into both heels and firmly into your left elbow and your right hand. Keep the chest and heart twisting to your right. So whatever exploration your head is with here, it's spontaneous and supported by all the other elements of the physical pose. And now as you're holding onto your right leg with your left hand, slowly straighten both legs and let the torso come down towards your right thigh. So this is still a twist to your right, but now also we make this lateral shift of the torso like the long pendulum on the grandfather clock we have ticked to the right. And then please shift your hands to your hips. Let the grandfather clock the torso swing to center and rise up to standing. Notice how things feel. Notice which leg gets warmer. How the upper back feels left to right. The effervescence of the body. And then bend both knees. Sit down. You can bring your block in. So the hips are back like you're sitting on a park bench. And you take the right forearm across the block. Take your left hand to your left knee. And establish the twist. So both heels are grounded and the left hand is firm on your left knee and your right elbow firm on your block. And once your twist is established, let the head explore. What do you need to know or discover? It's really helpful to keep the heels stable. I know the legs are working hard right now. That's why we said the second core attitude of yoga is to be vigorous when needed. We are also temporarily closing the femoral artery, so you're going to have this shift of blood supply and physiology. So stay with the twist a few moments more, please. And then holding your left ankle with your right hand, begin to slowly, or hold your shin if you need to, begin to slowly straighten the legs, and then let the torso swoosh across towards your left leg. Like the grandfather clock has not now ticked to the right, it went talk to the left. As you're breathing in and breathing out, notice where you can have a smooth sense of the breath. And then release your grandfather clock to the center. Place your hands to your hips. And please rise up to standing. Noticing again the temperature from one leg to the other. Lift the base of your skull. So if you got lightheaded, you have a sense of where you are. And then let's go heel toe, to center. So these twists we were doing were in flexion. We call that flexion when the spine is in a forward bend. We're going to add twisting now with extension, with a thoracic back bend. So come down to take a seat. And you can have your blocks close by. I'm going to show you as a profile here. So take a seat with your knees bent. You can start with your feet where they're comfortably distanced from your hips. The blocks aren't necessary right away. Take your fingertips back. Roll your shoulders open. Good. Slide the shoulders straight back. Lift up through your heart. Lift your collarbones. Open your throat. Lift your chin. And then press into your right hand. Look forward, it's easier for the transition. And inhale, raise your left arm up. Then make it into a little back bend. Now keep the right shoulder pressing back, please. And then come upright as you twist your left arm across your right knee. Turn your right hand to point backwards. In this pose, I want you to sense like a little thoracic back bend right there in the heart. Yeah, good. Gaze over your right shoulder. Also, you have permission to close your eyes, of course. And listen for the most beautiful, subtle form of the Ujjayi breath. Listen for a little back bend to happen up in the heart and the collarbones. And then with an exhale, float around to face forward. Now please try this. Turn your palms face up. Make a little back bend in the heart. And then using the tailbone, roll down just about halfway. So there's tailbone, sacrum, the upper part of the sacrum. We're not really rounding the upper back though. We are toning the lower belly. And then roll yourself up using your lower belly muscles. But when you get to the top of the roll up, try to sense a little lift of the heart. And then start from your tailbone to roll down. Tailbone, sacrum, mid-sacrum, towards the upper part of the sacrum. And then roll forward using your low belly. Keep your feet grounded. Come up to a little feeling of a back bend. And then once more, rolling down, tailbone first, low sacrum, middle sacrum, the upper part of the sacrum. And then rolling up, lift up through your heart. And now sweep your hands back as we started the other twist. We go fingertips, knuckles, heels of the hands. Roll the shoulders open. Lift your heart. Now I'm going to have you gaze forward. Keep the left arm really strong and stable, just as it is, and sweep your right arm forward and up. See if you can add a little back bend right here at the top. And then twist your right arm across to your left knee. Turn your left hand to point backwards. And gaze over your left shoulder. And then gazing over your left shoulder, try to get a sense here. Both feet, both knees, both hips have been stable. You can see that with your mind's eye. So the twist is in the upper back and the heart, and the foundation of your pose can be really consistent. And then rotate around to face forward. Let's do both palms face up again like this. Lift your heart like a little back bend. From the tailbone, roll it down, kind of like cat pose. Rolling down, maybe a little bit farther than halfway. Good. I can see you in my mirror. Roll yourself up, lift the heart like a back bend. This time, raise the arms. Good. And then reach forward. Use the tailbone to roll down, so you're not really rounding the upper back. Good. Inhale, reach forward smoothly, raise your arms, raise your heart. Beautiful. Last one, roll yourself down. Be aware of the lumbar spine right there. And then roll forward and rise up. And then release both hands. You have your blocks close by. We're going to use them now. Put them on the flat setting like this. Tip both knees down to your right. We call that Z formation, which you saw part of yesterday. Take this block back. So your hand is going to be elevated, which means the experience of the capacity for the back bend is increased. But it's also possible that you'll feel a side bend stretch right through here. So press into your block. Energize your left hip, reach towards your left thigh, into your left knee. And then as you twist, reach your left arm around to hold your right forearm, and then unreach it. Like this, open. And then exhale, rotate your pelvis, left hip forward, rotate your lumbar spine, mid spine, upper back spine, left hand towards your right. And then open. Keep the right shoulder back. And then rotate, left hip, left thigh, left lower back, mid back, upper back. One more time, open. Keep the right shoulder back. And as you come across, lift up with your left hip. It does roll forward. Roll your left thigh forward. Twist and walk your left hand around towards your right wrist. Gaze down. Press your right hand firmly into the block. And invite the right low belly and the right side waist into your twist here. Okay, and let's unwind. So my hope is that that feels sort of juicy and also inward. This block you can put aside, rotate your knees up, take them down to the other side of your Z formation. Like this. Yep, very good. Walk this left hand back so the block is flat. Okay, and we're going to be reaching, the right hip does come forward, so you are using the back of the pelvis, lengthen through your right thigh. And walk your right hand around towards your left wrist. And then here's the inhale to open. It's like an arc. Somehow this reminds me of some of those rides at the amusement park. You know, when they had like the large saucer, the teacup that you sat in, and it was spinning and then it would go on a little angle, a diagonal. That's what I'm reminded of right here. So when you're coming across, reach your right hand towards your left wrist. When you open, rotate your right arm, right shoulder, keep the left shoulder back. And then come across, bring your right hip forward towards your right thigh, rotate your right low belly, mid belly, upper back. One more time to open. Left shoulder back. And then exhale to come across. We're going to stay a little while. So here, when you hold your wrist, you're going to gaze down. And press firmly into your left hand. So the left low belly and the left side waist are a part of your twist. Of course, the upper back is also a part of your twist. And the strength of the left arm should be consistent, and we might say vigorous. And then unwind slowly. You can place your blocks aside, come back around to sitting. So you have your knees bent, your feet flat on the floor. Okay, so here we go now, arms forward. This is your inhale, like a back bend, inhale through the nose. And then exhale and roll down slowly, using the tailbone first. And as you roll down, see if you're able to go a little further than halfway. Maybe you touch the shoulder blades. And then you roll back up and raise up. And then exhale, the arms go forward. But really the roll down starts from your tailbone, not from your upper back. And then roll that up. Come into your back bend, upper back, chest, and heart. And exhale the hands forward and use the lumbar spine to roll down before the thoracic spine. And then roll that forward and up. Last one. This time as you roll down, plan to go all the way down without clunking. When you come to the bottom, let the shoulder blades reach towards the floor, tuck them under your heart. Bring your knees in, feet flat on the floor. Okay, I'd like to try one last thing for your neck. So what you're going to do is tuck the shoulder blades under the heart firmly, and then press with your feet into the floor. So the shoulder blades stay where they are, and you press into the feet to lengthen the back of your head away from the top of your shoulder blades. So your shoulder blades have to stay glued to the yoga mat, so that when you're pressing with your feet, you can really lengthen the spine. And keeping that action steady, roll your head to your right. Left shoulder blade stays down. Then roll your head to center and deeply to your left, and the right shoulder blade stays down. Roll to center, and then roll to your right, the left shoulder blade stays down. And then roll to center, and roll to your left, and the right shoulder blade will stay down. And then roll that back to center. And now stretch your legs out. I'm smiling at you. So stretch your legs out. Yep. Come towards your Shavasana. So just one more vigorous thing we're going to do. It's not hugely awful. It's, it's playful. So as you're lying down, make your feet and your hands into fists. Okay, squeeze all the muscles of the arms and the legs. And then squeeze the trunk. And then squeeze your face towards your nose. And take a deep breath in to hold it. Lift your arms and your legs and look forward while you hold the inhale. Then exhale to release everything. We're going to repeat that. Let's be playful about it, okay? So you make your feet into fists, make the hands into fists, squeeze the legs and the arms, and then you tone the belly and the abdomen. You're going to squeeze your face towards your nose. And then we inhale while we're holding the breath, lift and look forward. Then exhale to release like a whole body sigh. And do that one more time at your own timing. Last one. And when you come down for the release part, try to practice right there, this faith that you're going in the right direction. Invite your whole body to rest. Release the physical efforts of your practice. And let the deep nourishment soak into your whole being. So you can imagine your body, your whole body like a sponge. And the sponge knows one thing, how to soak in the water. So you are soaking in the benefits of your practice. So invite that soaking in to go from the skin, through the myofascial system, through the muscles, into the deepest regions of your body and your psyche, your mind and your heart. Allow that soaking to go into the organs, your vital organs, and into the circulatory pathways, the nerve pathways of your body. Allow it to soak in very deeply to the bones and the marrow in the bones of your body. Imagine every cell of the body infused with the medicine of your practice. When you're soaking in, imagine the body getting heavier the way a sponge does when it's most deeply saturated. Allow that saturating to go even more deeply. The sponge of your body, your mind, and your heart receiving. When you're soaking in this deep medicine, allow it also to saturate in such a way as the residue of stress or tension is displaced in the body. So you can see that actively being displaced as this goodness comes in. Allow the soaking to go even deeper yet again, as if you were a sponge, heavier, with greater saturation. Displacing that in you which is outdated, the residue of stress, a mental habit. This goodness is displacing. And then just sense now, what is the lightness of the breath? What is the quality of the breath that comes when you express gratitude, faith? You've been going in a good direction. The path is here for you. The community is here for you. You show up with whoever you are, however you are, whatever you are, and the practice welcomes you. And then lightly wiggle your fingers and your toes, please. You can bend your knees and roll to one side. As you roll to your side, and use both hands to come back up to sitting. Thank you, Susie. Thank you. When you come up, take a seat that you can be upright in and relaxed in for a few moments here. And try to sense the experience in the plumb line of your body, how your vibrancy or your mind, how they get restored by your practice. And make an inside picture of everyone else who's here. Even if you don't know them directly, you can just sense you have been practicing with others. They are also soaking in this medicine and displacing the difficulties of the human mind. And join your hands together at your heart. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here. Namaste. I always like to hear how you experienced class, so you're welcome.